Opening sequence: A Quiet Pond. The movie opens at the same lily pond where Hopper and his friends once triumphed. Peace has returned with frogs, turtles, and dragonflies living in harmony. Hopper, now older and wiser, enjoys telling stories of their adventures to younger tadpoles. But strange ripples disturb the water, hinting at an approaching danger. The sky darkens and a mysterious shadow flies overhead. The pond creatures sense that their peace may not last long. 2. A new threat emerges. A group of invasive bullfrogs from the neighboring marsh moves into the pond. They're bigger, stronger, and aggressive, claiming the pond as their new territory. Their leader, Brutus, declares that all smaller creatures must serve them. Hopper tries to reason with them, but Brutus mocks his courage. The smaller animals grow fearful of losing their home again. The seeds of conflict are planted, and Hopper knows he must act. 3. The Gathering Council. Hopper calls a meeting of the pond's creatures at the Great Lily. Old friends like Lily the turtle, Zip the dragonfly, and Tiny the tadpole return. Each shares stories of being harassed by Brutus's bullfrogs. They debate whether to leave the pond or fight for it. The group is divided, with fear outweighing bravery. Hopper swears he will not abandon his home to bullies. 4. A secret training plan. Hopper proposes training the younger frogs and creatures for defense. They begin practicing hops, dives, and coordinated swimming maneuvers. Zip helps them practice speed and dodging tactics. Lily uses her shell as a shield, teaching defense strategies. The smaller frogs look up to Hopper as a true leader, but Brutus spies on their training, plotting to strike back. 5. Brutus's revenge. The bullfrogs ambush Hopper's group at night, wrecking their training grounds. They crush reeds, overturn lily pads, and scare off the smaller creatures. Hopper fights bravely but is outnumbered and thrown into the muddy bank. Brutus declares the pond is his kingdom now. The pond community is shaken and begins losing hope. Hopper struggles with self-doubt, fearing he's failed everyone. 6. The return of an old mentor, an elder frog named Sage. Once Hopper's mentor returns from the marsh. He shares stories of how he once stood against predators twice his size. Sage encourages Hopper to trust not just strength, but cleverness. He reveals a secret hidden passage beneath the pond, known only to few. Hopper regains courage and vows to outsmart Brutus. The pond creatures rally once again behind their leader. 7. A dangerous mission. Hopper and Zip sneak into the bullfrog camp at night. They witness Brutus's plan to drain part of the pond for himself. The invaders want to hoard all the food and space. Hopper narrowly escapes with his knowledge, chased by guards. Both. His bravery inspires his friends to fight back, but he knows they'll need a clever trap to succeed. 8. Building the defenses. The pond creatures work together to build defenses. They weave reeds into nets and gather stones as slingshot ammo. Tiny the tadpole uses tunnels to dig escape routes. Dragonflies serve as aerial scouts, keeping watch. The teamwork begins uniting the frightened creatures. Hopper sees a spark of hope return to their eyes. 9. A setback. The bullfrogs launch a surprise raid before the defenses are ready. The nets tear apart and the smaller creatures scatter. Brutus corners Hopper, taunting him in front of his friends. Hopper narrowly escapes by leaping into the reeds, but morale among the pond creatures begins to fall again. They question whether Hopper can really protect them. 10. The heart-to-heart Lily comforts Hopper by reminding him of his first great battle. She says courage isn't about winning, but standing up for what's right. Hopper reflects on his journey from a small tadpole to a hero. He realizes he's been trying to fight like Brutus instead of himself. Hopper decides to lead with cleverness, teamwork, and speed. A new plan begins to form in his mind. 11. The trap is set. Hopper rallies everyone to help execute his plan. They set hidden nets across the pond floor. Dragonflies coat lily pads with sticky sap to slow enemies. Tunnels are dug to trap the bullfrogs underground. Well, every creature contributes in some way, no matter how small. The pond becomes a fortress of clever tricks and teamwork. 12. Brutus's challenge. Brutus, growing impatient, calls Hopper out for a one-on-one duel. The pond falls silent as the two face off on the Great Lily. Brutus mocks Hopper's small size, laughing at the idea of a fight. But Hopper accepts, knowing the duel will draw the bullfrogs into his trap. The creatures of the pond gather nervously to watch. The battle for their home is about to begin. 13. Duel on the lily pad. The fight begins with Brutus using brute force. Hopper dodges, leaps, and uses agility to stay ahead. Each time Brutus lunges, Hopper counters with clever moves. The pond creatures cheer, their hope rekindled, but Brutus grows furious and calls in his bullfrog army. The trap is about to spring. 14. The trap springs. The bullfrogs charge into the pond, only to fall into hidden nets. Dragonflies swoop down, dropping sticky sap on their backs. Turtles block escape routes with their shells. The smaller frogs leap from every direction, overwhelming the invaders. The pond becomes a whirl of teamwork and chaos. Hopper signals for the final move. 15. Brutus's defeat. Hopper lowers Brutus onto a weak lily pad. With a mighty leap, Hopper causes it to sink. Brutus crashes into the water and gets tangled in reeds. The bullfrog army, seeing their leader trapped, begins to retreat. The pond erupts in cheers as Hopper stands victorious. The invaders flee back to their marsh in shame. 16. Restoring the pond, the creatures begin repairing the damage caused by the battle. They rebuild lily pads, replant reeds, and clear the waters. Hopper thanks everyone for their bravery and teamwork. Tiny proudly declares that Hopper is the bravest frog he knows. Even Sage admits he has surpassed his old mentor. The pond is alive with joy and laughter once again. 17. Hopper's new role. The pond creatures ask Hopper to be their permanent leader. He humbly accepts, but insists decisions must be shared. A new council is formed with representatives from every species. They promise to work together to keep peace in the pond. Hopper finally feels at home as a true protector. The community is stronger than ever before. 18. A hint of future trouble as night falls. The camera pans to the distant marsh. A pair of glowing eyes watch the pond from the shadows. A whispering voice promises revenge for Brutus's defeat. The audience realizes a greater threat still lurks beyond. The pond may be safe for now, but the world is bigger. Hopper's journey as a hero is only just beginning. 19. Celebration under the stars. The pond hosts a grand festival to celebrate victory. Fireflies light the night sky like lanterns. Creatures dance on lily pads, sharing food and stories. Hopper is lifted on shoulders, a symbol of courage. He reminds everyone that no hero wins alone. The pond glows with joy, unity, and pride. 20. Closing scene. Hopper's promise. The movie ends with Hopper sitting quietly on a lily pad. He gazes at the stars, reflecting on the adventure. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together, he whispers. The ripples in the water shimmer with moonlight. A final shot shows the pond peaceful, yet full of life. The screen fades out, teasing another chapter in the saga.